Hello, everyone. My name is Stanley St. Rose, and today we're going to be talking about Letters from an American Farmer, written by J. Hector St. John de Crevecoeur. Now, before I go into summary analysis of this work, please remember to give a like, subscribe, and/or comment so that the channel can continue to grow. So, these letters from an American farmer, it's a series of letters that talk about the people that moved from Europe that came to America for a better life. Peasants, people that didn't have any money, people that lived underneath the ruling class of Europe, the kings and queens, and the rich, and the ultra rich, and the landlords. The people that lived underneath their thumb, underneath their foot, they come to America. And the Crevecoeur here, he tells us this, James tells us this, that when they come to the United States, there's much opportunity. It's not about working for the king or for the queen or for the owner or for the landlord. There's egalitarianism. Everybody can make a name for themselves. Everybody can go out, buy their land, become a farmer. Raise their crops or raise their animals and make money. And pretty much be their own man. Throughout these letters, or for the first couple of letters, we get the sense of in America there's a want and there's a possibility for any individual coming from any background to become whatever you want. You can work hard, you can get a piece of the land, and you can work for yourself. Unlike in Europe, how it's you're born into what you're born into. If you're born into the ruling class, you stay in the ruling class. If you're born into the rich, you stay into the rich. If you're born into the peasants, well, it's really hard to climb up. It's virtually impossible. And so the first couple of letters kind of paint America as this new land of freedom, of independence, of identity, of upward mobility, while it paints Europe as the old land that where if you're born at the bottom, if you didn't have a name to yourself, you're just not going anywhere. These letters also talk about religion. I would say the freedom of religion, how people can come from different background, different religions, and still coexist. And it talks about how religions intermingle, how kids from people of different faiths will intermingle in America, and how the mingling of different backgrounds and different religions will change America and change the perspective on life for different people. Um, so the Crevecoeur talks about religion in America. He talks about the ability to work hard, to own your own land, the ability to create your own identity. He talks about the different locations and how it changes it. He talks about the people who live next to seas and oceans and bodies of water. He talks about people who live in land, within the middle of the land. He talks about people who live in the woods. So he talks about different regions of the U.S. and how that changes the way in which people behave, the way in which people act, and the way in which people look at life. So these letters are very complex. It's not just a farmer talking about just regular life, but it really is a close analysis of different backgrounds, different peoples, and different behaviors in the United States. And again, the first couple of letters are very bright. They kind of highlight that if you come to America during this period of time, there's a great opportunity of you being successful, of you achieving your dreams. No matter what religion, or if your religion is a little bit different from your neighbor, it shouldn't impact you as in other countries or in other lands. He also talks about slavery. I mean, there's one instance where the slave is seen in a cage that's been sentenced to death for killing his master. And so there is a very serious talk within these letters about slavery and about the horrors of slavery and how detrimental it can be, and how gruesome it can be to live in a country where slavery exists. And these letters does not paint a good outlook for slavery. It does not glorify it. It actually condemns it. These letters condemn it. James condemns slavery and how horrific it is, and how It's just not right. So these letters do talk about that injustice, that evil, that wickedness that exists in slavery. It also talks about the Revolutionary War. So again, these letters do have a lot of different topics that they cover, from life in America, from owning land in America, from peasants coming from Europe to the United States, from the different moods and ways in which somebody can build themselves up in the United States, the different characteristics, the different personalities that exists between the different regions of the U.S. It talks about slavery. It talks about the Revolutionary War. And these letters really gives us a concise look, and a concise and precise look into different things that make America America. Now, some of these beliefs, in terms of deeper meaning, in terms of how does this apply to today, America is still a land that many people around the world still fight to come to, because the same liberties of making a name for yourself out of nothing, it still exists here. There's several opportunity where literally you can become a multimillionaire within one generation, within a period of 20 or 30 years. I mean, if you have an idea that's worth a lot of money, if you can work hard, the possibility of becoming someone successful in America is still alive, still to this day. There are people that were born poor at the bottom of the barrel in America as we're speaking right now, and by the time they're in their 20s or 30s or later in life, they're successful, or they're even millionaires. And so the opportunity to succeed in the U.S. that still exists here today. So again, the first couple of letters from James really highlight here, the prosperity, the possibility. Now, this is one thing that I would say it echoes throughout the letters, is the possibility of something greater. That's something that all humans want to have. To know that there's at least a chance where you could possibly work hard and make something out of yourself. And that's what you get from the first couple of letters, about what people who come over from Europe, what they can achieve by coming into to the Americas. So these letters, they give us a lot of background for how it was like when America started to take off, and they pretty much leave us off with the Revolutionary War, when America would finally break away from Europe, break away from England, and start to create its own identity as a standalone thing. So these letters are definitely, if you read them for yourselves, there's a lot of things to take in more specifically and to look at more specifically, because they do cover a wide, a wide topics, a wide collection of topics, about how life was for the people who came over from Europe, and how they started to build America, and the identity that they started to create for those who lived in America. So that's all I had to say about this work. Please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and or comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.